Yo, what's going on, everybody? For the first time in its 38-year history, the second of WWE's Big Four POEs becomes a two-night event with 7 matches for one night, 6 matches for night 2, bringing a total of 13 matches with 9 titles on the line. What's on Dre's Mind presents SummerSlam 2025, also promoted as SummerSlam New Jersey. The show was hosted by rapper Cardi B, and the show took place on Saturday, August 2nd and Sunday, August 3rd at 2025 at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is the third time that WWE held an event at MetLife Stadium after WrestleMania 29 in 2013 and WrestleMania 35 in 2019. This is also the fourth SummerSlam to take place in East Rutherford after 89, 97, and 07. And this is also the first SummerSlam to be broadcast on Netflix. The attendance in Night 1 was 51,161. Night 2 was 60,561, bringing a grand total of 113,722. The color commentary team for both nights were Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Now, before I start talking about SummerSlam, I want to bring up 2 matches that, in my opinion, should have made the card, but for some reason did not, and instead were performed on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. First match I want to talk about is Aleister Black versus Damian Priest. Now, this rivalry has been going on for a minute now. The week after WrestleMania 41, Aleister Black made his return to WWE, and after a couple months, he attacked Damian Priest, turning heel in the process. As for Priest, boy, talk about a fall from grace, because last year he walked to SummerSlam as the World Heavyweight Champion. Now his rivalry match with Black is on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. That is a really big fall from grace for Damian Priest. Apparently, he's not big enough a star to join SummerSlam, which I don't understand why. You would think that both guys would be on a SummerSlam card, so this was a bit of a letdown. As for the match itself, well, it was actually a fine match. The ending was kind of flat because Priest won by DQ when Black attacked Priest with a chair and hit him with Black Mass. As for the second match that should have been on SummerSlam, it was a title match. It was for the WWE Women's United States Championship, as Women's United States Champion Julia defended the title against Zelina Vega. Now, you would think with Julia being one of the hottest call-ups from NXT to SmackDown, you think she'd be on a PLE already. But no. Despite being on, the only one she's been on is Evolution, that was a Battle Royal. She's yet to have any kind of single match on any premium live event. The week before the go-home edition was the return of Kiana James, who became Julia's official representation. The match between the two was actually a solid match. However, it was kind of a foregone conclusion that Julia was going to win this match because she had just won the title, and the way she's built, she's going to get a long title run, but still, it would have been nice to have Julia on SummerSlam. Of course, Julia did retain the Women's Championship by pinning Vega. Alright, now on to SummerSlam, and to kick off night 1, we start with a tag team match as Roman Reigns and Jey Uso took on a team of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who's accompanied by Paul Heyman. Now, of course, this all started when the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania 41, Paul Heyman, he accompanied CM Punk made it to the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. And Heyman betrayed both Reigns and Punk, starting with Rollins, and there's basically a lot of attacks back and forth, and it got to a point where Uso and Reigns had to team up, take on Bronson and Breaker. So here we go. The match opened up SummerSlam. This was pretty solid, but the beginning of the match was a bit slow due to Breaker and Reed controlling most of the match, but things picked up halfway through. As at the end of the match, Reed attempted a tsunami, which Reigns countered with a Superman punch. Reigns and Uso performed the 1D on Reed, but that was broken out by Breaker. Breaker attempted a spear on Uso. Reigns shoved Uso out of the way and took the bullet himself. Uso performed a spear and an Uso splash on Reed and pinned him to win the match at 21 minutes 10 seconds. And I give the match a 4 out of 5. In the second match, it was the first of 9 title matches as the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship was on the line as Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day defended the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. After failing to win the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 41, Charlotte Flair was approached by former rival Alexa Bliss, who suggested the two form a tag team with Flair declining several times before eventually agreeing. At Evolution, Bliss and Flair were part of a fatal four-way tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championships, where the champions retained. However, this was not the original plan. The original idea for the team of Flair and Bliss was for the duo to start having issues that lead to having a one-on-one match between the two at SummerSlam. However, because the team was getting more positive receptions every week, it was decided to keep the team together. Another thing I want to point out is that since Flair and Bliss were going to be a tag team throughout SummerSlam, probably the original plan for the tag titles was for Judgment Day to defend against a different team. It's not known what the original team was, but probably I see the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. They seem to be the most team that makes sense. I think the Kabuki Warriors spot were kind of taken away to give into Flair and Bliss. But also, since Flair and Bliss were going to be a tag team, you can get a tag team title shot, probably could have added the Kabuki Warriors into this match, making a triple threat match instead. As for the match, it was a solid match between the two teams, but let's be honest, this was a foregone conclusion who was going to be the winner. At the end of the match, as Flair attempted a figure 8 lock on Rodriguez, Bliss attempted to hit Perez, who moved, causing Bliss to accidentally hit Flair. You got more of that, the miscommunication going on. Rodriguez performed a Tejana Bomb of Flair, followed by Pop Rocks by Perez, but Bliss broke up the pin with a running blockbuster. In the end, Flair performed a big boot on Rodriguez and pinned Perez, following Sister Abigail to win the titles at 13 minutes 30 seconds, and I give the match a 4 out of 5. After that, it was the third match of the night as Sami Zayn took on Karrion Kross, accompanied by Scarlett. Since early 2025, Karrion Kross had been playing mind games with Sami Zayn, believing that Zayn was a liar and not the good guy he portrayed himself due to Zayn's past as a heel. This came to a head at Night of the Champions where Zayn defeated Kross. On the following episode of Raw, Kross attacked Zayn with a pipe, which cost Zayn a tag match later that night. The following week, Kross further targeted Zayn and attempted to once again strike Zayn with a pipe. However, he was stopped by Adam Pearce and some WWE personnel. This in turn cost Zayn another match. Kross then defeated Zayn on the July 21st episode after striking Zayn with the pipe once again. On July 25th, during the SummerSlam card reveal event, it was announced that they would have a rematch at SummerSlam. On the final Raw before SummerSlam, both agreed that if Kross wins, Zayn would have to admit that Kross was right about Zayn. But if Zayn wins, Kross would have to admit that he was wrong about Zayn. As for the match, it was fine. Just fine. It had its moments, but felt it could never get out of second gear, but still fine. After Zayn performed a Blue Thunderbomb on Kross, Scarlett placed a pipe at Zayn's feet, and as Zayn grabbed it and was ready to strike Kross, he refused, which Kross rolled up Zayn for a near fall. Zayn out of nowhere then performed an explosive suplex and a haluva kick on Kross. It pinned him to win the match at 8 minutes 10 seconds, and I give the match a 3 out of 5. The fourth match, it was the second of 9 championship matches, as it was for the WWE Women's Championship, as Tiffany Stratton defended the WWE Women's Championship against Jade Cargill. This match was set up because Jade Cargill's win, the Queen of the Ring at Night of Champions. And this was confirmed that Tiffany Stratton would defend the title against Cargill, which is pretty much the story going on to this. Of course, that's not a lot of bone for the build-up, but for the most part, this match was pretty good. However, my only complaint was the finish, and I'll get to that in a minute. After Cargill performed Jaded on Stratton, she went to pin her, but during the pin, Stratton's foot reached the middle rope to break the pin. In the end, as Cargill attempted Jaded from the middle rope, Stratton performed a hesitant takedown to take Cargill to the mat and pin her after performing the prettiest moonsault to retain the title at 7 minutes 5 seconds. I'm gonna say that with Cargill getting pinned here, I believe that because this was actually a perfect night to put the title on Cargill, they didn't do it. So my thing is, Cargill turns heel later in the future, and because at the end of the match, I mean, when the match was over, she was on the ground feeling dejected, and I think that's going to push her over the edge. It's like her time in AEW, she was a heel, so the heel thing may work out for her. We'll have to wait and see. But as for the match, I give it 3.5 out of 5. And the penultimate match of night 1 was another tag team match, as Jelly Roll and Randy Orton took on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. On the July 4th episode of SmackDown, Drew McIntyre made a return in his first appearance to Saturday night's main event, interrupting Randy Orton and taunted him for not punching Cody Rhodes' head in the final of the King of the Ring tournament at Night of Champions. saying that the legend of Orton was dead. Orton responded by performing an RKO on McIntyre. On the following episode, while country singer Jelly Roll was performing his song Liar, he was interrupted by Logan Paul, who said that no one wanted to see an outsider in WWE. Look who's talking. Orton interrupted, demanding that Paul show respect to Roll. McIntyre appeared and performed a Claymore kick on Orton. Paul then attacked Orton further, only for Roll to intervene. Paul then dismantled Roll's music set. The next evening at Saturday night's main event, Orton, who was accompanied by Roll, defeated McIntyre, who was accompanied by Paul. Following the match, Paul attacked Orton, which prompted Roll to attack Paul, only for McIntyre to attack Roll with a Claymore kick. Later, Roll stated that he wanted both McIntyre and Paul in the match, with Orton suggesting that the match should take place at SummerSlam. And this match was confirmed, and here we go. Before I start, I want to mention that Jelly Roll had come to this match injured during his training. So, even though he actually lost almost 100 to 200 pounds, which is pretty impressive for the guy. As for the match itself, I want to say it was okay. I mean, this is really a celebrity in this match, and Jelly Roll did alright in this match. The wrestling was basic. The quality of the match was disguised with the help of the crowd, which is always a big help. During the match, Paul performed his frog splash on Roll through the announce table, which was a hell of a spot. A spot was done to get Jelly Roll carted out of the arena while Paul McIntyre got the upper hand on Orton. After Jelly Roll saw what was happening, he got back to the ring apron. Orton fought back and tagged in Roll. In the end, Roll performed a black hole slam on McIntyre and reversed the diamond splash into a power slam on Paul. But during the pinfall, McIntyre performed a Claymore on Roll. Orton performed an RKO on McIntyre before being set into the ring post by Paul, who pinned Roll following a frog splash to win the match at 17 minutes 10 seconds. I give the match a 3 out of 5. In the sixth and final match of night 1, it was the third of 9 championship matches, as it was the main event as WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther defended the title against CM Punk. On the July 14th episode of Raw, a gauntlet match was held to determine who would face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, and this was won by CM Punk. I want to mention 2 things about this match. Punk's wrestling attire. It was color-coded to represent the Fantastic Four, and because of Punk's battle cry, it's clobbering time. And as for Gunther, he came to this match injured. Apparently he had an injury to his nose. I have to say, this was a damn good main event. Both men took the time here as they paced themselves for a long match. The Punk delivered some of Gunther's offense against him. Gunther countered a high knee attempt into a powerbomb for a near fall. Punk attempted a top rope elbow drop, but Gunther chopped him and performed a top rope splash for a near fall. Punk attempted a GTS, but Gunther countered to perform a powerbomb, dropkick, and another powerbomb on Punk for another close fall. As Gunther played to the crowd by standing on top of the announce table, Punk tripped him off. When Gunther came to, he was bleeding from his head, and I got to be honest, I have never ever seen Gunther bleed or look vulnerable ever in any type of match. This gave Punk the opportunity he needed. Punk attempted a GTS, but Gunther countered into a super hold. However, Punk escaped the submission and performed the GTS not once, but twice on Gunther to win the title at 30 minutes, 20 seconds, and I give the match a 5 out of 5. CM Punk was celebrating. You can tell there was a lot of stalling. One thing, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman arrived to the ring. At first, Rollins came out in crutches, seemingly warning Punk that he is still coming after the Heavyweight Championship. Basically, he's telling them to just keep that title warm, because I can cash in at any time. It started going to the back of the stage. He took off his crutches, took off the knee brace, showing everyone that he had been faking his injury the whole time, and ran to the ring. Honestly, I was waiting for Rollins to come out. I was thinking either he's just going to come out and taunt Punk and say, hey, I'm coming after you, or that injury was fake, and boy, was I right. I think everyone was right. That injury was fake. When Rollins came into the ring, Punk attempted a GTS to stop his cash-in, but Rollins countered it and attacked Punk with the briefcase. Rollins then cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and pinned Punk with a curb stomp to win the title at 10 seconds. And yes, I know that this is a cash-in. And this was at 10 seconds. But technically, this was a match, and it will go down as a heavyweight title match. But the cash-in, the mockery, the foolish, the way Rollins tricked everyone, or at least he fooled some people. You got to hand it to Rollins. He played up the kayfabe really well, and he got to hand it to his dedication. And this may seem like a lot to some people, but I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. It was a hell of a cash-in. It was a hell of a acting job by Rollins. Post-match, as Rollins celebrated with Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, the commentators called this the ruse of the century as Night 1 of SummerSlam came to a close. Now we're on to Night 2. The opening match of Night 2 started off with a banger, as it was the 4th of 9 championship matches of the show, as Naomi defended the Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky in a triple threat match. At Evolution, Naomi, who was on SmackDown at the time, made a shocking cash-in as she cashed in her Money in the Bank contract during a singles match between champion Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, converting it to a triple threat match to win the Women's World Championship. Because of the win, Naomi was transferred to the Raw brand. During Naomi's celebration on Raw the following night, both Sky and Ripley interrupted once into the title match. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce did announce that Naomi would defend the title against both Ripley and Sky in a triple threat match at SummerSlam. For the match, I want to mention that Naomi got the superstar entrance with her own father, guitarist Sean McRae, playing her to the ring. This really elevated her as a star. And what a hell of a way to open Night 2, because this match totally rocked and the fans loved and cheered every moment. The match started off with both Sky and Ripley double teaming Naomi, but we all knew that wasn't going to last. Near the end of the match, Sky performed a moonsault on Ripley, and Naomi performed a full Nelson bomb on Sky for a near fall. Ripley performed Riptide on Naomi, but Sky broke up the pin as Ripley performed an avalanche Riptide on Sky. Naomi pinned Ripley with a roll-up to retain the title at 16 minutes 20 seconds, and I give this match a 4.5 out of 5. The second match was the 5th of 9 championship matches, as the Wyatt Six, this is the team of Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, defended the SmackDown's WWE Tag Team Championships against the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, and Andrade and Rey Fenix in a 6-pack TLC match. All I want to say is that the tag team division on SmackDown is totally crazy, and it's a good way. The Wyatt Six have caused so much mayhem before and after they won the tag team championship. On an episode of SmackDown, after a brawl between all the tag teams, Nick Aldis announced that the Wyatt Six would defend the tag team championship against the 5 other teams in a 6-pack challenge at SummerSlam. One of the interesting things about this match was that this is the 25-year anniversary of the birth of the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match that started on SummerSlam. Part of the first ever TLC match, the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys were in attendance. I'm going to be honest, I can't do this match justice because it's one of those matches that you have to see for yourself. Because this match had car crash written all over it. There were so many various table and ladder crashes and involvement from Candice LeRae, B-Fab, Nikki Cross, Eric Rowan, and Uncle Howdy. And it's just pure insanity. In the end, as Phoenix was at top of the ladder, Lumis struck him with a chair, and he and Gacy performed a suplex powerbomb combo on Phoenix. Gacy then climbed the ladder and unhooked the belts to retain at 16 minutes. I give this match a 4.5 out of 5. After that, it was the 6th of 9 championship matches as Becky Lynch defended the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Lyra Valkyria in a no DQ, no countout match. Now this match continues the rivalry between Valkyria and Lynch. Now, the way Valkyria got this title match, she defeated Bayley on Raw in a 2 out of 3 falls match to earn a rematch against Lynch for the title of SummerSlam. Lynch proposed a stipulation to be a last chance match in which Valkyria would never be able to challenge for the title again for as long as Lynch was champion, which was the same stipulation from Money in the Bank where Lynch had defeated Valkyria to win the title. Valkyria accepted and added that the match should be a no DQ, no countout match to guarantee a winner, which Lynch accepted. This match was an excellent match between the two. My one complaint was the match was placed after the TLC match, which did burn out the crowd quite a bit. So even though Lynch and Valkyria are two top wrestlers right now, once you see a TLC match as crazy as that, it's kind of hard. Any match that follows up with is going to be kind of screwed. Lynch attempted a manhandle slam of Valkyria from the steps. Valkyria countered into Nightwing. Inside the ring, Lynch performed a manhandle slam of Valkyria through 2 chairs to get a near fall. As Lynch attempted to strike Valkyria with a crowbar, Bayley showed up out of nowhere and pulled it away. As Bayley and Lynch fought each other, Valkyria performed a diving leg drop on Lynch through a table. In the end, Bayley went to strike Lynch with a chain but accidentally struck Valkyria, which then had Lynch pin Valkyria with a manhandle slam to retain the title at 25 minutes and 5 seconds. With this victory, Valkyria is banned from challenging the title while Lynch is the champion. I give this match a 4 out of 5. In the 4th match, it was the 7th of 9 championship matches as Solo Sikoa defended the WWE United States Championship match against Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match. Yes, more bloodline battles between the family members. Spoiler alert, this is the only dud on night 2 because this would have been a perfect night for Solo to show what he can do without the help of bloodline members. But when you have one bloodline member, you gotta have them all. Tonga Loa, JC Mattel, and Tala Tonga arrived later in the match to surround the cage to prevent Fatu from winning. Jimmy Uso then comes to perform super kicks on Loa and Mattel before Tala sends him over the announce table. In the end, Tala handcuffed Fatu to the cage, but Fatu broke out. As Fatu prevented Sikoa from escaping, Tala kicked the door into Fatu's head, allowing Sikoa to escape the cage and retain the title at 12 minutes 40 seconds. Post-match, Fatu performed a moonsault on top of Loa and Mattel inside the cage. I give this match 3 out of 5. In the penultimate match, it was the 8th of 9 championship matches as Dominic Mysterio defended the Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles. Originally, Dominic Mysterio was scheduled to defend the WWE Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles at Night of Champions. However, due to Dominic being injured, the match was postponed. Over the following weeks, Mysterio continued to avoid wrestling Styles, claimed that he was not medically cleared. However, Adam Pearce announced that Mysterio would be reevaluated by the medical team, and if Mysterio was cleared to compete, he would defend the championship against AJ Styles at SummerSlam. When Mysterio continued to avoid being reevaluated, Pearce gave him a choice: check to be reevaluated or be stripped of the Intercontinental Championship. Later, Mysterio attacked Styles, announcing that he was medically cleared to compete. During Styles' entrance, he entered the building in a lowrider and sported tights identical to those worn by Guerrero at SummerSlam 05 when Latino Heat fought Rey Mysterio for custody of Dominic. If you haven't seen that match, go ahead and watch it. Styles' son rode in the car with him and sported the same buzz dyed blonde style Dom had at the event, which was a great touch. The match itself was very solid. A lot of throwbacks to many Eddie Guerrero matches. A double light cheat and steal spot by both competitors, which drew a great crowd reaction. The ending was very, very creative. Earlier in the match, Mysterio unzipped his boot, claiming his ankle was hurting. When Styles applied a calf crusher, Mysterio escaped when his boot came loose. Mysterio then hit Styles with the boot and pinned him with a frog splash to retain the title at 10 minutes 45 seconds, and I give the match a 4 out of 5. With 5 matches in, it was time for the main event of night 2, as it was the 9th and final championship match of the night as John Cena defended the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes in a street fight. At Night of Champions, Cody won the King of the Ring and received a title shot and a rematch against John Cena, who also retained his championship that same night. During the contract signing, Cena feigned that he was not ready to defend the title and refused to sign the contract. This caused Rhodes to brawl with him and forcing Cena to sign the contract, which then revealed that their match would be a street fight. On the final SmackDown before SummerSlam, Cena turned back to being a face, stating that Rhodes' actions knocked sense into him and that he should have never turned heel. Honestly, the heel turn from Cena was just plain flat. Like a lot of other fans have said, including myself, the heel turn came at least 15 years late. When the company realized that this was not working, they had no choice but to turn him back. As for Cena's entrance, it started from the black and white, and it went back to the colorful entrances he is known more for. As for Rhodes' entrance, it had his father, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, speak, "When you walk behind and you're not the leader, the view never changes" line. This was a great main event. And along with the TLC match and with the World Heavyweight title match for night 1, is worthy of match of the year. From Cena using a crutch from Charlie's Halliburton to Cena using Rhodes attacking each other with chairs, Cena attempted an attitude adjustment, but Cody Rhodes countered and performed a Coda Cutter on Cena for a near fall. After so many crossroads and attitude adjustments and many Cody Cutters, Rhodes pinned Cena following what seemed like the 100th crossroads of all time to win the title at 37 minutes 45 seconds, becoming a two-time WWE Undisputed Champion, and I get the match a 5 out of 5. After the match, Cena picked up the title and handed it to Rhodes, and the two embraced. As Rhodes left the ring to let Cena have his moment and to thank the fans, another shock happened. Brock Lesnar returned for the first time since SummerSlam 2023. Cena attempted a clothesline on Slender, who ducked and countered with an F5 in the night, but after that, Cena really got up and his music started to play. Cena cut the music. He wanted to hear the fans thank him, and he slowly walked out. Honestly, having Lesnar come back when his name was on a lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE is a very, very mixed bag. There's also rumored that Lesnar was on the TKO ban list. While this was a huge shock to see Lesnar back in WWE, his presence might take away opportunities from younger stars that more likely wanted to have a match with Cena, but instead Lesnar will probably finish off Cena's retirement tour. But then again, he may not. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Well, Night 1's opening tag match was a great opener, and the main event delivered huge with a shot cash-in. The matches in between was just average. As for Night 2, it delivered big time. All but one match were very enjoyable. For the opening triple threat match to the main event, including Brock Lesnar's shock return, made the first ever 2-day SummerSlam event very entertaining and ended on a great note. My grade for Night 1 is 3 out of 5. My grade for Night 2 is 4.5 out of 5. Now for my best match and worst match for both nights. For Night 1, I give the best match to Gunther vs. CM Punk plus Seth Rollins' surprise cash-in. As for the worst match, I give it to Sami Zayn vs. Karrion Kross. And I meant to mention this earlier about Karrion Kross. He and his wife Scarlett's contracts are up as of this moment. It's unknown if they will re-sign with WWE or they'll go somewhere else. It's kind of a shame because these two are actually very good for the company, and it's kind of a bummer that they have not received new deals. So we just have to wait and see what happens. For Night 2, I got the best match to John Cena vs. Cody Rhodes plus Brock Lesnar's shock return. As for the worst match of Night 2, I give that to Solo Sikoa vs. Jacob Fatu. What did you guys think of the first ever 2-night SummerSlam? Did you think it was great, good, average, or bad? Do you think that it was a good idea that SummerSlam is now a 2-day event? Do you think that the other two big 4 POEs, Royal Rumble and Survivor Series, should also be 2-night events? Let me hear your comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Stay open-minded, y'all.